welcome to Silicon Slopes Commons, state of Utah. Today we have with us Senator Gene Davis. Hi, Senator. How are you doing?
Good morning. How are you today?
Wonderful. So tell us a little bit about yourself and about the district you represent.
All righty. I'm Gene Davis. I've been in the Utah State Senate since 1999, in the legislature since 1987, when I was first elected. District 3 encompasses an area which is the west side of Mill Creek City, west of 13th East to the river, and then the west side of Murray, which is the west side of State Street to the river. And then we go from there to the east side of West Valley City, and then all of South Salt Lake City, the Sugar House area, which includes Westminster College, and then out 13th East to join up with Mill Creek City. So that's a district's look. It's really a great district, wonderful people, and interaction with the city officials and with the citizens has been very, very rewarding in my career.
Wonderful. So we know that Utah lawmakers are only technically part-time. Do you have a job outside of the legislature?
You know, I'm pretty well retired. I have a great part-time job right now, which is the Utah State Senate. And other than that, my career was in radio broadcasting and in public relations.
What made you want to run for election?
You know, I got involved in my community council in the Sugar House area, and it just, one thing led to another, and I realized that I wanted to help solve problems. And as I got into the legislature, being able to help work on problems and make better public policy really became a goal and an idea for me that I think I've strived to try to continue working and trying to be honest with my constituency on all matters.
So what's been your favorite part of serving in the legislature?
You know, I think my favorite part is interaction with people and having that whole feeling of being able to work with others and solve problems, having my input regarded as well.
For sure. So we're in a worldwide pandemic. There's no question about that. And every state has been dealing with it a little bit differently, but we're coming up on a general session of the legislature, which, deals with the statewide budget for the next year. What do you think the legislature can do to help stem the tide of the pandemic?
I think the one thing is encouraging people and the development of solutions for the pandemic, such as, Silicon Slope, of course, has helped us immensely in the state of Utah to be able to find data research and ways to look at research in different ways and putting a lot of information in front of us to be able to do that. I think a continuation of that. I think we need to encourage people to get their vaccinations when they become available. I think that's the one way we're going to stem the tide. And until then, we need to wear a mask and we need to stay home as much as we can and really enjoy the holiday season, maybe a little closer to home this year than normal.
For sure. So let's switch gears a little bit. If the pandemic wasn't happening, where would your legislative focus be?
I think the focus this year, I'm working on a number of issues to try to solve the problem with the DABC and their staffing and the turnover problem that they have there, and also to help people who desire to purchase alcoholic beverages to find it easier to find what they want in the stores, and that's one issue. The other is making sure that we maintain access to health care in the state of Utah. We have an affordable rate right now on insurance and everything. I hope everyone took advantage. If they don't have insurance at work, health care coverage at work, that they have gone online to the Affordable Care Act in the exchange and found the coverage for they and their families. So I think the one thing we're going to look at, the budget is going to be critical this year, not knowing what effect long-term the virus is going to have on our budget, how quick we can turn the economy back to growth though we haven't been hit as hard as other areas in the United States. So budget is going to be key, making sure people get the services that they need.
Definitely. Back to that DABC thing. I am waiting for the day when I can subscribe to the NPR wine program. I don't know if you know about it, but
I know about all of the different clubs and everything else that are out there. And, the one thing is that I had a bill last year, and I'm going to reintroduce it again this year. What it allows you to do is to purchase a bottle or two bottles instead of a whole case. And you'll actually have a site, a technology site that you can go in, ask for whatever it is you want, and get a reply back. It creates almost a new division in DABC with the technology and everything, so they can reach out to the different distilleries or wineries or brewers in the United States, in the world maybe, and find out what it's going to cost you and per bottle and or multiple bottles, and see if they can get it for you.
that would be lovely to say the least.
Getting into the club aspect of it is a little more difficult because you have to purchase directly. And I know there's some good wines that are available on NPR and a number of other clubs that are out there. And the price to you is kind of expensive, but there is a state law that says we have to mark it up 85%. But that's 85% of what they can get a wholesale price for a bottle.
Yeah.
And so that's really an important aspect of it. It's making sure that we get the money for the school lunch program and for the general fund that we need to be able to run DABC.
Yeah, and I don't really have a problem with the markup, honestly. That there's, those discount liquor stores in Nevada that are super close, and we've gone there, and the wine prices, like the liquor prices are definitely a little different, but the wine prices are pretty similar enough that I don't worry too much whenever we're in Nevada or Colorado.
As I've shopped around as well in different markets that I've been to and looked at wine and liquors, you're absolutely right. Our markup is maybe affects some of those sales prices in other states by maybe $1.
Yeah.
And then you have to ask yourself, is it worth driving 2 hours?
Yep.
Staying
Exactly.
overnight or whatever, and then driving back just to get a bottle of wine? Because we
Exactly.
have great selections. We
Mhm.
have wonderful selections in the state.
Yeah, we do. And there's have you been to the one on 300 West, right over by like Walmart and Costco and everywhere?
Down on Harris Avenue.
I think so.
That's
Yeah.
my wine store.
I love that place. I absolutely
that.
love that place. They're
And
amazing.
I'll tell you, the one out in Holiday is beautiful also.
I don't think I've been to the one in Holiday, but there's a DABC store that originally wasn't wine focused in Draper that is now wine focused. And I've been very impressed with their selection, and I've always had good interactions with them too. I know they're super strapped and always exhausted, but yeah, no, I
That
appreciate
is really the key. That is the key to customer satisfaction. And that's what we have to ensure, that when you go in, you can find new varietals as well as finding your favorite.
Exactly. So now we're going to go into the lightning round, which is kind of sillier questions.
Oh, lightning.
Yep. So I'm just
Snappy.
gonna jump right in. What is your most unusual talent?
My most, I guess my most unusual is my ability to try to play the piano, and I'm tone deaf.
Okay, that's interesting. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Absolutely, especially when you go to a baseball game.
Could you go 30 days without your phone?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Communications is my background. And not to be able to communicate, especially in this environment where I'm really stuck at home so much. Virtual and phone modern technology is important.
Very. What generation are you?
I guess they call me the silent majority, the one that's between 28 and 1945, something like that.
Okay.
And it is the generation that gave you rock and roll, that gave you really began the civil rights movement. So it's a very sensitive and very, and actually with the rock and roll, as we gave you rock and roll today, the one thing you have to look at, the civil rights movement was an integral part of that. As music changed and brought in multi-cultures and multi-songs, just cultural songs, just to appease the appetite of the boomers.
For sure. What is your favorite jelly bean?
My favorite jelly bean, I just like jelly beans in general.
All of them.
Challenge me. Give me a tropical fruit or give me, any of the other flavors except for the real exotic ones. And my mouth goes off. My taste buds really explode.
Have you ever had Bertie Bott's every flavored beans?
What?
Bertie Bott's every flavored beans.
No.
They're like a Harry Potter thing that became a real life thing.
No, I haven't.
So they have like dish soap and grass and
That's where I'm saying the exotic stuff I'll stay away from. Thank you.
they have some really good ones too. They have some
Yeah,
really
I know. I may have some really, really, can I use the word yucky ones?
Yes, absolutely. For sure. Dogs or cats?
What? Dogs or cat? I'm a kind of a dog fancier.
Okay. When you were a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to go into broadcasting. It's really what my goal was. As my mother used to tell me that when she'd bring home some records, some 45s for us to play some of the hit songs on the record player, I always had to control the jukebox, so to speak.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
To emanate peace around the world. I think that's what I'd really like to do. I'd like to see people comfortable with one another and getting along with one another. I think that's the most important thing. And so I think if I had a superpower to be able to go, whoop, I would be able to do that.
What is the worst movie you've ever seen?
The worst movie, oh gosh, I've seen so many of them. I mean, there have been some real terrible movies out and really good ones. Maybe some of the takeoffs on the James Bond movies. There's been some very, very bad ones there.
Okay. And what is the strangest text or email you've ever gotten from a constituent?
Go back and try to remember. People who have, I guess, strange from a constituent state of point is the fact that people who tell me about legislation that they want and that you can see they have not thought it through constitutionally or anything else. So you look at it and you go, whoa, you've got to be kidding me. You want to do what? You realize what the long-term effect is. That affects you, not everybody else. So,
I always liked the ones that when they would come into constituent services and they would be pissed off about something on the federal level and be like, you have to vote against this. And I'm like, here's your different forms of government. Like, we have nothing to do with this. So no, I totally.
Those are the ones that you look at and you go, do you understand what government is about?
Exactly. And all the different ways that it works. And yeah, no, I totally understand that. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Senator. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to hearing from you in the upcoming general session.
I look forward to it. Thank you very much.